Hello everyone, and welcome to another Jurassic Park video by Jeremy James Pruchick, and happy Halloween! Since it's Halloween, what better way to celebrate than to indulge in all things scary, gory, and horrifying? Hopefully I can help you with that today, even if just a little bit. Jurassic Park is no stranger to things scary and gruesome. You may remember that I made the most brutal deaths in Jurassic Park videos way back when, but I'm going to share with you a death from the Jurassic Park franchise that's so gory, so gruesome, that there's no way it would ever make it into a Jurassic Park movie without an R rating. Want to know what it is? Well, here it is. The death of Dennis Nedry. Now hold on a minute. I'm obviously not talking about the movie version, I'm talking about the novel version. That's right. For those of you who have already read the novel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you who haven't read the novel, well, you're in for a treat. Of course, we remember in the Jurassic Park movie that Nedry was killed by the Dilophosaurus, just like in the novel. However, unlike the novel, the movie version was much tamer and watered down in comparison. The amount of detail that Crichton put into this portion of the story made you cringe and send shivers down your spine, almost as though you can feel what kind of excruciating pain Nedry was going through. So don't take my word for it just yet. I want you to hear it straight from the source. Allow me to read you an excerpt from the Jurassic Park novel, detailing the gruesome and gory death of Dennis Nedry. Warning, this is not for the faint of heart, or for the weakened stomach. You have been warned, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. The dinosaur stared at him and then snapped its head in a single swift motion. Nedry felt something smack wetly against his chest. He looked down and saw a dripping glob of foam on his rain-soaked shirt. He touched it curiously, not comprehending. It was spit. The dinosaur had spit on him. It was creepy, he thought. He looked back at the dinosaur and saw the head snap again, and immediately felt another wet smack against his neck, just above the shirt collar. He wiped it away with his hand. Jesus, it was disgusting. But the skin of his neck was already starting to tingle and burn, and his hand was tingling too. It was almost like he had been touched with acid. Nedry opened the car door, glancing back at the dinosaur to make sure it wasn't going to attack, and felt a sudden, excruciating pain in his eyes, stabbing like spikes into the back of his skull, and he squeezed his eyes shut and gasped with the intensity of it, and threw up his hands to cover his eyes, and felt the slippery foam trickling down both sides of his nose. Spit. The dinosaur had spit in his eyes. Even as he realized it, the pain overwhelmed him, and he dropped to his knees, disoriented, wheezing. He collapsed onto his side, his cheek pressed to the wet ground, his breath coming in thin whistles through the constant, ever-screaming pain that caused flashing spots of light to appear behind his tightly shut eyelids. The earth shook beneath him, and Nedry knew the dinosaur was moving. He could hear its soft hooting cry, and despite the pain, he forced his eyes open, and still he saw nothing but flashing spots against black. Slowly, the realization came to him. He was blind. The hooting was louder as Nedry scrambled to his feet and staggered back against the side panel of the car, as a wave of nausea and dizziness swept over him. The dinosaur was close now. He could feel it coming close. He was dimly aware of its snorting breath. But he couldn't see. He couldn't see anything, and his terror was extreme. He stretched out his hands, waving them wildly in the air to ward off the attack he knew was coming. And then there was a new searing pain, like a fiery knife in his belly, and Nedry stumbled, reaching blindly down to touch the ragged edge of his shirt, and then a thick, slippery mass that was surprisingly warm, and with horror, he suddenly knew he was holding his own intestines in his hands. The dinosaur had torn him open. His guts had fallen out. Nedry fell to the ground and landed on something scaly and cold. It was the animal's foot. And then there was new pain on both sides of his head. The pain grew worse, and as he was lifted to his feet, he knew the dinosaur had his head in its jaws, and the horror of that realization was followed by a final wish, that it would all be ended soon. And there it is. I'm sure you can see why this version of Nedry's death wasn't in the final cut of the movie. Much more gory and gruesome, not exactly kid-friendly, but hey, that's what Halloween's for. And with that said, this has been another video by Jeremy James Pruchick. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked this video and want to see more, click the subscribe button and check out some of my other videos too. There's lots more where this came from. Don't forget to click the bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next video.